Hi, you guys. I'm back again. I'm getting this out late because electricity was off part of the day today, so I didn't get a chance to work on it like I wanted to. So I may put this out tonight yet, but it'll actually be tomorrow because of the problem I had getting it out. Anyway, today I wanted to kind of wanted to throw some things at you. I've been getting I get flack off and on from people that say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory," or that's not true, or whatever. And I know the information; it's all in my head, and I can find it on the internet. But a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody, I I say, "Well, it's on the internet, but I don't have it right there with me." So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys. Just I'm going to put some short clips together. These are people that, if you are aware of who's in the government or whatever, these are different. Some of these people are in government now, uh, running Obamacare or whatever. They're a senator or congressman, and they're not talk. And the things that they're talking about, they're not talking about them in some dark room somewhere. They're not talking them on an audience of conspiracy theorists or something like that. They're talking on the Senate floor, Congress, on a news channel, like Fox or whoever. And I'm trying to get it across to you that uh, this thing that's coming down, most of you are kind of aware of what I'm doing, but the things that are coming down are in plain sight, and they're happening. You cannot you cannot deny them. You can only deny them if you're not paying attention to anything. But I'm going to put these things on there. I just want you to see and hear these things from the people that are actually saying and hear and doing them, or what their plans are. And this whole plan is the two things that you need to get out of this today and research, if you need to, is Agenda 21 and New World Order. And you'd be amazed at how many people still think that New World Order is just BS, and that the Illuminati is BS. And yet it's out there for anybody to look up. People are using it. Hollywood's full of the Illuminati and claiming it. And but these things today, I'm just going to put out there. You need to hear them. These are the people, not somebody you don't know, or maybe you don't know them, but you know who they are. Okay, it's not BS. And I would like to have covered some other things, but I didn't get the chance. So I may come back in here somewhere. I'll see how we're doing with the time. Okay, but pay attention to these things, because these are coming from the people in your government, and it's coming on. It's in our backyard, guys. We're in trouble. We're in big trouble here. You guys have to get this. That's why I keep trying. Okay? All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Pay attention. Bye.
The end of the Western civilization by having a market-based strategy.
Yes.
We are bringing Western civilization to its knees.
To attract people that you are the dominant culture, that people want to emulate and copy what you're doing because it works. And in America, we are doing a huge disservice to ourselves by not understanding how powerful of a driver in the economy an immigration system that works can be, and continues to be, and by not having an immigration system that works. And let me give you an example of the kind of money we poured in. So the most dangerous, the safest city in America is El Paso, Texas. It happens to be across the border from the most dangerous city in the Americas, which is Juarez, right?
Yeah.
and two of the safest cities in America, two of them are on the border with Mexico, and of course the reason it is, we've proved that communism works. If you give everybody a good government job.
Guys, did you hear that stuff? I couldn't believe when I first heard that she actually said that with Obamacare, that's what she runs, that they plan to bring the Western world to its knees. In case you're not sure, that's us. And I didn't know we need to be brought to our knees, but I guess we do, huh? And this congressman here, communism? I didn't know we had communism here, but I guess if everybody works for the government, which is their plan, and to some degree, but everybody's going to be cut down a whole bunch. But this is what I'm trying to tell you, to talk about it openly. 10 years ago, you couldn't talk like that. If you were a congressman or running one of the government agencies, you couldn't say anything like that. And it should be bothering you guys, because they're openly talking about what they're going to do. This next part I'm going to throw in there is basically one of the big guys that's involved in GMO and all the chemistry and all those things that are going on around the world, is one of the New World Order guys, one of the elitists. But you need to listen to what he says. You thought it was a theory or something that somebody's talking about, that these guys want to be gods. Here's this guy talking in an interview. Okay, I'll see where we're at, and I may come back a little bit here. All right, take a listen.
By the way, it's not nice people that run it. It's an artificial system like fractional reserve banking and derivatives and high-frequency trading meant to scam you and end the free market as we know it and create a monopoly. One system, one unified, hellish collective with engineered food, water, everything. I mean, it's just a whole new world. The globalists want to be God. They want to control the universe. Human cloning researcher Richard Seed, he says, when the shift hits the fan, I will be God. And that's what Ray Kurzweil, all of them say. We're doing this. You're not going to stop us. And we're basically, you're going to become one of us if we even let you, or we'll sit on you like a bug. Here he is saying, I will be God. I will be God.
We're going to become gods. Period. If you don't like it, get off. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to participate. But if you're going to interfere with me becoming God, you're going to have big trouble. Then we'll have warfare.
I mean, this is who these people are. You interfere with me becoming God, you're going to have big problems. You're going to have warfare. People on like Major General Stubblebine, former head of special forces and you name it. And he's like, no, the elite are obsessed with life extension. Of course they are. And they believe they've got to build this to get it. And the point is, we aren't in the equation to get the resources. You're not going to get the life extension. Look at Obamacare. You're going to get a cane instead of a knee surgery. Yeah, you get free health care. Here's some glasses. You don't get eye surgery. This is you pay more for less. You pay more and live in a 200-square-foot coffin apartment. They can take 99% of what you get and let you live in a shoebox. You see how that works? And that's progressive. That's trendy. That's good for the earth. While the globalists are killing the earth, bringing in this tyranny.
Does the government work for us, or do we work for the government? Tonight, what if the Constitution no longer applied? What if the whole purpose of the Constitution was to limit the government? What if Congress's enumerated powers in the Constitution no longer limited Congress, but were actually used as a justification to extend Congress's authority over every realm of human life? What if the president, meant to be an equal to Congress, has instead become a democratically elected, term-limited monarch? What if the president assumed that everything he did was legal just because he's the president? What if he could interrupt your regularly scheduled radio and TV programming for a special message from him? What if he could declare war on his own? What if he could read your emails and your texts without a search warrant? What if he could kill you without warning? What if Supreme Court justices no longer looked to the Constitution to determine the constitutionality of a law, but rather simply to what justices who preceded them thought about it? What if the rights and principles guaranteed in the Constitution have been so distorted in the past 200 years as to be unrecognizable by the founders? What if the 50 states were no longer sovereign entities, equals to each other, and parents of the federal government they voluntarily constituted? What if the states were mere provinces of a totally nationalized and fully centralized government? What if the Constitution was amended stealthily, not by constitutional amendments duly ratified by the states, but by the constant and persistent expansion of the federal government's role in our lives? What if the federal government decided if its own powers were proper and constitutional? What if the Constitution were no longer the supreme law of the land? What if you needed a license from the government to speak, to assemble, or to protest against the government? What if the government didn't like what you planned to say, and so it didn't give you the license? What if the right to keep and bear arms only applied to the government? What if posse comitatus, the federal law that prohibits our military from occupying our streets, were no longer in effect? What if the government considered the military an adequate dispenser of domestic law enforcement? What if cops looked and acted like troops and you couldn't distinguish the military from the police? What if you were not secure in your person, in your papers, and in your property? What if federal agents could write their own search warrants in defiance of the Constitution? What if the government could decide when you were and were not entitled to a jury trial? What if the government could take your property whenever it wanted? What if the government could continue prosecuting you until it got the verdict it wanted? What if the government could force you to testify against yourself simply by labeling you a domestic terrorist? What if the government could torture you until you said what the government wanted to hear? What if people running for president actually supported torture? What if the government tortured your children to get to you? What if government judges and government lawyers intimidated juries into convicting the innocent? What if the government could send you to your death and your innocence meant nothing so long as the government's procedures were followed? What if America's prison population, the largest in the world, was a cruel and unusual way for a country to be free? What if half the prison population never harmed anyone but themselves? What if the people had no rights except those the government chose to let them have? What if the states had no rights except to do as the federal government commanded? What if our elected officials didn't really live among us, but instead all had their hearts and homes in Washington, D.C.? What if the government could strip you of your rights because of where your mother was when you were born? What if the income tax was unconstitutional? What if the states were convinced to give up their representation in Congress? What if the government tried to ban you from using a substance in your body that is older than the government itself? What if voting didn't mean anything anymore because both political parties stand for big government? What if the...
I hope you listen to that's Judge Napolitano. Probably a lot of you guys know who he is. He's on Fox Network now, but he's a retired judge. But should go back and listen to all those things he listed, because you know most of those are already gone. They've already happened. That's kind of why he was putting those out there. But we're not very far from ground zero right now, so to speak. That guy, that New World Order guy that I had put on there, you know, that's just the beginning, man. That's why it's so important for you to go and see. Agenda 21 is their agenda. Okay? Tells you exactly what they're planning, what they're planning to do to us. It's not good. Okay? But look at those things. They're out in the open and they're talking point blank about bringing this country down, destroying it, and so forth. I gotta go, but I love you guys.